My name is Ben Wong. I represent the Asian Prisoner Support Committee. First of all, rest in peace, rest in power, Eric Salgado. And we're here today to adamantly oppose the increased calls for increased criminalization. For CHP, we say CHP out of Chinatown, CHP out of Oakland. We recognize that there is real harm, there's real trauma that communities, our community members and communities across this town are experiencing. We also say that we do not want the mayor of Oakland, other elected officials, the DA, to divide us further. We know that from almost 20 years of organizing our organization within the prison system and trying to address mass incarceration issues in our community, we know that more policing, more law enforcement, more mass incarceration does not solve any of the roots of the real issues. So we're here today to promote unity amongst other communities of color. We do not want any longer to be used as a wedge. We do not want the Asian community's issues to be used as a wedge to further criminalize other communities of color. We know from experience this also impacts many of our community members as well. We don't want more police, we don't want more law enforcement, we want real solutions, we want mental health interventions, we want violence prevention, we want community-based solutions, not the CHP coming down these streets. And I want to pass it over now to my colleague, Key Lam.
Hey, thanks for that, Ben. Thanks, Kat. So my name is Key Lam. I'm the program facility manager of Asian Prison Support Committee. I'm also formerly incarcerated as well. So we know deeply how impactful that when law enforcement show up at a scene, that there's either two ways for that outcome: more violence or incarceration. We had a client who was murdered by law enforcement recently this year, and the last word he said, "Tell my mama I love her." He knew that he wasn't going to come out alive in this situation, and so we know that more police does not mean more solution or more harm. I mean, more. I'm just thinking about it. It still traumatized me to know that my client was murdered by law enforcement. He had mental health issues. Yes, he had a criminal record, but that doesn't make him less of a human being than any one of us.
That's right.
And so we know that the last decades, like 80s and 90s, tough on crime did not solve the problem. Locking people up did not solve the problem. When people get locked up, the community suffers, family suffers, people suffers, children suffers. Because when that person come home, he or she cannot get a job because of his criminal conviction. And then we talk about, returning citizen. So far, what we witnessed as, in our community, in my line of work, there is no returning citizen rights. They don't have the same rights when they come home. And so having more law enforcement, does that solve? No, it causes more trauma to our community. And we're here to say no to more law enforcement.
That's right.